Special night in Toronto where the Raptors are celebrating 100 years since Nelson Mandela's birth in 1918. It's the fifth straight year that Giants of Africa, the nonprofit founded by Raptors president Messiah Ujiri, is paying homage to the late South African president and Nobel Peace Prize winner.
Nelson Mandela taught us to rise above hate, despair, spite, and he made us understand love and hope. And it's the same way in sports, in my opinion.
Hard work on three. 1, 2, 3. Hard work.
We want to win on the court, but we want to win off the court. And winning off the court means affecting youth, affecting people's lives.
Yes!
For us, rising above is preaching positive thinking. There's nobody else better at this than Nelson Mandela. This was somebody that was in jail for 27 years and affected so many lives. He was the father of Africa. He was our hope. And he brought us together because he rose above all odds in life to become the most positive person and the most positive movement, I think, in the world. How do you replace a guy like that? There's a story to be told, and all these kids will hear that story and they will continue to rise. He affected the world and he affected the youth of Africa in a positive way. The giant of Africa is Nelson Mandela.
Messiah Ujiri, a native of Nigeria, who has very much kept his link to the continent with basketball and with programs like Giants of Africa, and obviously sees the value, as we all should, in teaching kids in particular about one of the real giants in civil rights history, Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, I remember being a senior in high school, when he was released from prison, and I watched it, the footage of it. It was 3 solid hours on CBS this morning with Charles Corral. I'll never forget it. My dad and I sat and watched it. And you'd heard about Nelson Mandela, and he was locked up, so you didn't really understand how powerful a movement it was, and then he got released. And you saw the way he handled himself, as Messiah mentioned, not an ounce of venom in him when he got out of prison after 27 years,
right,
and became a world changer, not just a change agent in Africa and on that continent, but around the world. And that legacy lives on, obviously, for generations to come, and I don't think it'll be a surprise for anybody in 200 years. They'll be talking about Nelson Mandela much the way we are tonight.
Absolutely.
No, you hit around here for me too, Matt, that knowing someone was incarcerated for 27 years, you're not knowing as a kid what was really going on. And you say today, if someone was to go through that, excuse me, and come out and not have some type of animosity towards that, it's unheard of. And lastly, hate. It's like to come out and really every day want to help people and think love first is different in today's world. So that's what I take from Nelson Mandela.
Not only the most important figure in the anti-apartheid movement, which ultimately ended apartheid, but of course the first black president in South Africa's history as well. Also a good game going on tonight with